All right, thanks guys. Welcome to the video here today. And if you're new here, I just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my channel. My name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you end up liking what you see here today, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and join the Brock Page family. I'd love to have you. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some Thursday NBA action. Hey guys, the weekend is right around the corner. Happy Thursday to you. We're going to start off with the Dallas Mavericks traveling to Philly to take on the 76ers, and that's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off at the Wells Fargo Center. The Philadelphia 76ers are the 5.5-point favorite on their home court. Total's 226 flat. And if you like the Mavs and an upset victory on the road here, they're plus $1.85 on the money line. Now, we went 4-1 in our 5 premium sports picks on my Patreon website yesterday. That's going to put us at 11-3 in our last $14.99 daily best plays on that page as well. We currently have over 1,350 members who are signed up and active on that page. Now, the Mavericks are coming into this matchup here tonight on a nice little 2-game winning streak. Victories over the likes of a sputtering Boston team and a lackluster Memphis squad. Those 2 victories aside, though, the Mavericks have failed to cover the point spread in 6 out of their last 9, throwing out that Boston game. And they may have to go to work tonight without one of their leading scorers in Kristaps Porzingis. He's currently battling a back injury, technically listed as day-to-day. He could possibly sit this one out here tonight. That would be pretty devastating for the Mavericks' chances here on the road. Also, Maxi Kleber is also listed as questionable for Dallas for tonight's action as well. So 2 very important key players potentially not playing here tonight. Now, the Mavs are in the bottom 3 in offensive rebounding, and they make only 32% of their three-pointers on the road. Dallas also ranks in the bottom 10 in defensive rebounding, and they allow 114 points per contest defensively. Now, they're taking on a Philly team who's won 3 out of their last 4 contests, and they currently have an .867 win percentage at the Wells Fargo Center this season. Very impressive. The Sixers are, well, they're an impressive 13-2 straight up as the official home team, and they successfully covered the point spread in nearly 70% of those home ball games. Joel Embiid scoring 29 points a game along with 11 boards and 3 assists. Meanwhile, Tobias Harris is scoring over 20 a night himself along with 7 boards and 3 assists as well. The Sixers are in the top 10 in home scoring, top 3 in home defensive rebounding. And when it comes to the total in this one, Philly is 4-2 to the over in their last 6, throwing out their most recent outing. They're also 60% to the over at the Wells Fargo Center. Meanwhile, the Mavericks saw 7 out of their last 9 contests get over the number themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Philadelphia 76ers minus 5.5 and the over 226. Next ball game, Magic versus the Nets, 7:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Nets are minus 8 with a total at 227.5. Now, Brooklyn saw 4 out of their last 6 ball games get over the posted total. As a matter of fact, Brooklyn's 12-5 to the over at the Barclays Center this season, 23-10 to the over for the entire year. Lots of overs for this Brooklyn team. Meanwhile, the Magic on the other side finds themselves 60% to the over thus far in their 15 road games as well. I'm going to lean toward the over 227.5 in that ball game. Next contest, Kings versus the Knicks, 7:30 East at Madison Square Garden. The New York Knicks are minus 2 with the total at 223 juice to the under. And if you like the Sacramento Kings and a slight upset on the road here, they're plus $1.10 for some money line cash. Now, the Kings are currently on an 8-game losing streak, 0-8 against the point spread during that losing streak as well. Hassan Whiteside's been ruled as out for the Kings. He's currently in COVID protocol. The Kings, they've really had problems giving up points this season. They're last in the NBA in points allowed, last in defensive field goal percentage. The Kings are currently 7 games below 500, and they've won just 5 of 13 away from their home court. Now, they're taking on a New York squad who's got a winning record on their home court themselves. They also currently lead the NBA defensively in points allowed and defensive field goal percentage. Now, the Knicks defensively are also holding their opponents to just 32% shooting from three land. Julius Randle's also dropped over 23 points a game on average, along with 10 boards and 5.5 assists. Meanwhile, R.J. Barrett scoring 16 a night himself, along with 6 rebounds and a couple assists as well. New York's gone 4-2 straight up in their last 6 outings, 70% against the number in their last 10. Now, when it comes to the scoring in this one, New York's last 3 straight all stayed under the number, 70% to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, Sacramento saw 9 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with New York stay under the total themselves. So if you're into historical trends, certainly leaning toward the under in this one. I'm going to lean toward the New York Knicks -2 and the under 223. Next game, Clippers, Grizzlies, 8 p.m. Eastern start time. The Clippers are -8 on the road, numbers 229. Now, Los Angeles has won 6 out of their last 8 contests, 11-4 straight up in their 15 road games this season. Kawhi Leonard scoring 27 points a game along with 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Meanwhile, Paul George is also dropping over 24 a night himself, 6 rebounds, 5 assists a night for the shooting guard. The Clippers are first in the NBA in three-point percentage, and they also score 116 points a night when they travel. They're taking on a Memphis team who's on a 2-game losing streak themselves, and they've won just 6 of 15 on their home court. The Grizzlies are in the bottom 10 in home scoring, bottom 10 in home offensive rebounding. Now, Brooks and Tilly are both questionable for Memphis here tonight as well. And in addition to giving up 114 points a game at the FedEx Forum, Memphis is allowing their opponents to make 42% of their three-pointers there. Now, total-wise, Memphis did see 2 out of their last 3 stay under the line, 8 and 7 to the under as the official home team. Meanwhile, 3 out of LA's last 4 stayed under the total themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the LA Clippers -8 and the under 229. Next ball game, it is going to be Wizards versus the Nuggets, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The Denver Nuggets are -7 at home, totals 237. But as decent as the Nuggets have played at the Ball Arena here this year, this is a club that simply refuse to cover. So let's try to say that again. This is a club that simply refuses to cover. They're just 40% against the number in their home games this year, and they failed to cover the point spread in 7 out of their last 10 ball games. Denver's in the bottom 10 in defensive field goal percentage, bottom 10 in third quarter scoring. They're also going to have to go to work without Dozier, Green, Harris, and Millsap. They're taking on a Washington club who went 5-1 straight up in their last 6 games, 5-1 against the number during that stretch. Washington is in the top 5 in offensive three-point percentage, and they average 115 points a night. Bradley Beal is scoring 32 points a game along with 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Meanwhile, Russell Westbrook is scoring nearly 20 a game himself, 9 rebounds, 9 assists for the multi-time All-Star. Now, total-wise, Washington is actually 60% to the under in their contests on the road this season, 6-4 to the under in their last 10 meetings with Denver. Meanwhile, the Nuggets saw 2 out of their last 3 stay under the line themselves, 4-3 to the under in their last 7. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Washington Wizards +7 and the under 237. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup of the show. It is going to be Pelicans versus the Bucks, 9:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Milwaukee. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks are -9 at home, totals 242.5. Now, the Bucks have seen 3 out of their last 6 contests stay under the posted number. They also rank in the top 10 in a bunch of defensive stats. Meanwhile, the Pelicans on the other side of things, well, defensively, they also rank in the top 3 in defensive rebounding on the road themselves. And so for as many overs as we've, seen from this New Orleans squad, they're also in the top 10 defensively in points allowed on the road. So with those factors in mind here, I'm sure there's going to be a ton of money coming in on the over in this one, rightfully so. A ton of overs between both of these two squads. I just think that there's several factors here that will allow me to lean toward a contrarian underplay here. So with all that in mind, I'm going to lean toward the under 242.5 in the Pels-Bucks contest. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap. Once again, powered to you by my Patreon website, where we went 4-1 in our 5 premium sports picks on that Patreon page yesterday. We're also 11-3 in our last 14 $1.99 daily best plays on that Patreon page as well. I'm going to lean toward the Philadelphia 76ers minus 5.5 over 226. I also like the over 227.5 in the Magic Nets game. I like the Knicks minus 2 under 223. I also like the Clippers minus 8 under 229. I like the Washington Wizards plus 7 under 237. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the show, one final reminder to please hit that subscribe button right now. If you enjoyed today's video, I'd greatly appreciate it. Give me the under 242.5 in the Pelicans-Bucks contest. All right, guys, one final reminder that all the content on my YouTube channel here is for entertainment purposes only. I don't make any guarantees of any kind. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some shout-outs to our top 10 YouTube commenters over the past couple of days or so. Shout out to The Rudy, Kyannon MC, Travis Jones. Shout out to Stony Boy. Stony Boy, probably a good time hanging out with Stony Boy. Shout out to Dope Boy Fresh, Jenfrel Caboton, Franco Lanzarini, Glenn Bowen, Frost23, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my good friend, the SOP LFD Striker. I'll tell you what, the Striker's been with me for a really long time. I think probably from day one. I think the Striker's from Egg Harbor, New Jersey, if my memory serves me right. It's Egg Harbor, maybe Absecon, or definitely not Pleasantville, though. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And have yourself a good one now.